Hi, wonderful people. Good morning. How are you today? Once again, you're welcome to British Irish Schools e-learning platform. Okay, and I'm still my humble self, Knowledge Nanye, and I'll be taking you on science. Okay, and my class is year one, and I have a topic says food poisoning. Again, food poisoning. Okay, I know you like this topic. Okay, so before we delve into food poisoning, you need to understand what food is all about. Have you heard of food before? Have you eaten today? Good. Because you have eaten, so let's understand what food is all about. Food can be defined as any substance we eat in order to grow. I said food can be defined as what? Any substance we eat in order to grow. Okay. Yes, food is very, very what? Important to the body in order to have energy and grow. So in as much as food is very important, at the same time, we need to be very careful and also apply caution in what we take in, okay? Because it has the ability to do what? To cause what? Diseases, okay? So let's look at food poisoning. Good. Since you understood what food is all about, so food poisoning can be defined as illness caused by eating contaminated what? Food. I know somebody asked me what is contaminated food. Yes. Contaminated food is simply the food that is not good for consumption. That is to say, the food has been infected either by microorganisms or other factors that can actually do what? That can actually do what? That can actually do what? Make food to be poisoned. Okay. So we say that food poisoning can be defined as illness caused by eating contaminated what? Food, which can be as a result of the activities of microorganisms. Okay, yes. I say food can be poisoned by what? Activities of the micro what? Organisms. Okay, so simply I can define food poisoning as what? Illness caused by eating contaminated what? Food. Is that okay? So let's look at causes of food poisoning. Food poisoning does not just occur. There are so many factors, or there are some things that can actually bring about what? The poisoning of food. Let's look at what? Number one. But remember in our definition, we talked about what? The activities of microorganisms. So we want to look at some organisms that can actually do what? That can actually what? Lead to what? Food poisoning. Number one, we have bacteria. Someone say bacteria. Yes, these are tiny organisms. Okay, they can what? They can what? Poison your food. They can poison your food. Another one is what? Viruses. Okay, yes, it's not coronavirus. There are some viruses that has the ability to do what? When they invade into your food, they can do what? They can contaminate or put germs and make the food not fit for eating. So microorganisms, by their activities, can do what? Can lead to food what? Poisoning. Example, we have an organism like Salmonella typhi that causes what? Typhoid. Yes, it's a tiny organism. You cannot see it with your naked eye, but when viewed under microscope, you can see them. Okay, so these organisms, they have the ability to do what? To cause what? Food poisoning, or to do what? To contaminate what? Food. Okay, so number three, we have parasite. Is also another word, microorganism. So by the time they invade in a food or in your food, they can make the food unfit for eating. Okay, apart from microorganisms, there are some other factors also that can lead to food poisoning. Number four, we have poor personal hygiene. Okay, what is hygiene? It simply means what? Keeping clean your body, your belonging, applying what? All cautions in order to see that neatness is what? Maintained. Okay, so when poor personal hygiene is being applied in food, it can bring about what? It can bring up germs, or it can lead to what? Poisoning of food. Is that okay? So poor personal hygiene can what? Cause what? Poisoning of food. So these are what? Microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, parasites can cause what? Food poisoning. And also poor personal hygiene. When you don't apply a good hygiene or cautions or neatness, it can lead to what? It can lead to food poisoning. So another template is what? Effects of food poisoning. Effects of what? Food poisoning. Yes. By the time you take in or you eat food that is poisoned, what happens? Okay, what next? Let's see. It can cause what? It can cause diseases. Yes. When you take in a food that is poisoned, it can lead to what? It can spring up what? Diseases. Like I mentioned one of them, which is what? Typhoid. Okay? Yes, when you drink dirty water, taking food that is contaminated, it can bring what? It can lead to what? It can bring about what? Diseases. So number two effect, it can lead to death. Yes. disease can lead to death. So when you eat food that is contaminated, when it's not properly managed or when it's not properly, taken care of, it can lead to death. Yes. So number 3 effect is what? It can lead to weakness of the body. Good. When the food is poisoned and you take it in or you absorb the food, it can weaken your body system. Thereby, it can lead to death and some other words, bad effects or bad things that can occur. Is that okay? So it can cause disease, it can lead to death, and it can lead to weakness of the body. Finally, we have ways of avoiding food poisoning. I say ways of avoiding food poisoning. Since it can bring about diseases, it can lead to death. So how can we avoid them? Okay. Number 1, through personal hygiene. Yes. Like I simply said, apply what? All caution to see that neatness is maintained. When you are cooking, that is why it's necessary. You wash your hands before cooking, after cooking. When you want to take in something, you do what? You wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water to see that the hands are free from what? Germs. Because the funny thing about these germs are, they cannot be seen with an ordinary eye. The hand may appear clean, but there are some words, embedded microorganisms on the hands that when not properly handled, it can what? It can infuse into the mouth and it can cause what? It can lead to food poisoning and thereby leading to death. So through personal hygiene, we can actually avoid what? Food poisoning. And number 2, proper preservation of what? Food. Yes. When you are eating, you need to do what? Before you start eating, food has to be what? Properly preserved. Okay? You don't leave your food open and you go about your way. No. Food has to be properly what? Preserved. Either you warm or you put in your refrigerator, or there are so many processes by which we can do what? Preserve our food. So food has to be what? Properly what? Preserved, because when you leave it unpreserved, microorganisms will do what? We do some what? We have the activities and thereby make the food not to be fit for eating. Okay. And number 3, we have what? Proper cooking of food. Yes. You don't eat food that is not well properly cooked. How do I mean? When a food is properly cooked, there is no microorganism that can actually survive. Good. So you need to cook your food, prepare them very well, preserve, you cook very well before you start to what? Eating, okay? And lastly, avoidance of what? Expired food. That is why for any edible product you buy, not just edible product, but in the context of our topic, you need to do what? You need to check what? The expiry date in order to avoid food that has what? Expired. So by so doing, you can actually do what? Avoid what? Food poisoning. I believe you understood what the teacher just taught. So please, henceforth, I need you to apply cautions. Be careful of what you eat, because it has the ability to cause disease and thereby, if not properly managed, it can lead to death. Thank you very much once again. British Irish School cares.